Yeah, I think it's safe to say it's pretty much a wrap for Jess Hilarious after this incident. Um, the dominant white society and the mainstream media, they're going to continue to look up old tweets from like 5, 6, maybe 10 years ago to try to paint her as somebody who is even more racist and more anti-homosexual against the LGBT community, etc. You know, um, and this is from this incident that happened today, where Jess Hilarious was on a commercial flight. I don't know where she was going, but reportedly she was on a commercial flight and she racially profiled 4 Sikh men. Now, the Sikh community um, is notorious to get mistaken as Muslims, and they're not. They're not part of that religious doctrine or their faith. They're monotheistic religion. Okay, that means they only have one God, where Christianity and the Muslim faith or Abrahamic religions, they're actually henotheism. You know, they have more than one God, right? But that's another topic of conversation. But the Sikhs get mistaken as Muslims, and she was not aware of that. She's completely ignorant in terms of understanding religion and theology and eschatology, etc. Obviously, she's a comedian, so it's not her job. Her job is to tell jokes and not to study, right? But on top of that, you got to have some common sense. You know what I mean? And this is her own doing. You know, um, completely being ignorant when it comes to, you know, Abrahamic religions or the Sikh community, and being, you know, sensitive from the fact that, of course, you had the mass shooting from a white supremacist in New Zealand who killed over 50 people in a mosque in New Zealand, right? But she racially profiled these 4 Sikh men on the flight, and reportedly the men were removed from the flight. That's reportedly. Reportedly is what I'm reading in these articles online. And then, you know, Jess Hilarious goes on her social media page, and I'm gonna go to in a second. She goes on her social media page and she's talking about, you know, her. Listen, her ideology of her defending herself, it basically sounds like she's white. It sounds like a white person, a white entertainer, celebrity, or influencer gets caught up in a racist scandal and does the same exact talking points as somebody white. I'm not racist. I have black friends. You know, those kind of talking points. They always do that, but she did the same thing in reverse. She said, "I'm not racist." Okay, and then she says she has Muslims in her family. Like, come on, man. Like, when you do that, that means you got to own up to it. Own up to it. But here's the thing, and people don't, you know, especially when you're classified as a black or African American, people love to throw these terms around in terms of racist. And I've always talked about the etymology of the word racist or racism. And I got to school you guys real quick again. This is the history of the word racist. In the U.S., race hatred, race prejudice has been used, and especially in the 19th century, political context, Negrophobia, Anglo-Saxism, as in belief in the superiority of the English race, had been used disparagingly in 1860 anti-Negro. So, you know, if people really study word history, they would know that racist or racism comes from the superiority of the English race. So by default, we don't have a power structure. People classified as black or African American, we don't have a power structure to commence systemic oppression, institutionalized racism, etc. We don't have the power structure or the wealth or the resources to do so. We can only resort to name calling, and that is it. That's it. But of course, Jess Hilarious doesn't know that. She's a comedian. You know what I mean? But for the fact that she doesn't know about the Sikh community, right? And the fact that this chick goes on her Insta stories and she posts herself wearing Gucci, which is right here. She's rocking Gucci. Okay? That means she's doing anything, buck dancing, shucking and jiving, anything to get a dollar in the entertainment industry. Anything to get a buck. Where you can compromise your integrity, you sell your soul just to get that damn them dead white people on a piece of paper. So, you know, with that kind of mentality, man, you know, you got to be a person that is a glutton for punishment, a person that has Stockholm syndrome, and of course, a person that suffers from the mental disorders that people classified as Black or African American, or ADOS, American descendants of slavery, contributed from the trauma, right, of systemic oppression, aka white supremacy, that's been happening to us for over 500 years. And that's another topic of conversation that we can have as well. But, you know, Jess Hilarious, complete ignorance and just the lack of common sense by, you know, posting this on social media and actually doing this, she, you know, basically committed career suicide, and that's her fault. That's her fault. You know, I can't defend that at all. That's completely her fault. And just to put the cherry on top, she's still rocking Gucci. So, like, I'm aware of Jess Hilarious, you know, as far as her. I only actually knew her through Instagram and her Insta stories and stuff like that. She did have you know, some funny videos on Instagram, but other than that, that's pretty much what I know her for. But as far as I'm concerned right now, she's canceled. You know, and it's her own doing. It's her fault. Nobody else to blame but her. So, you know, the dominant white society are going to continue to dig up old tweets and, you know, pin her as being anti-homosexual, racist, xenophobia. You know what I mean? They're going to just continue to demonize her and whitelist her from Hollywood. Whitelist her from gigs. You know what I mean? And I mean whitelist in a negative way, not blacklist, but whitelist. Like, she's not going to be, you know, booked for shows and stuff like that. That's what they're trying to do right now. But again, that's her own doing. So, you know. So yeah, those are my thoughts about that story, about Jess Hilarious, you know, defending herself, saying she's not racist and doing the same damn talking points that white people do against us, who, you know, we get racially profiled on a daily basis. You know, Black people always get racially profiled every goddamn day. Every day. But, you know, she made it even worse by being Black and racially profiling another group of people. You know, thinking they're Muslims when they're not. That's number one. Being extremely ignorant. And then talking about she's racist and she got Muslims in her family. Again, ignorant. They're not Muslims. They're Sikhs. So she's canceled. She's just dumb as she doesn't get paid to think. She gets paid to tell jokes. So she's dumb as hell. You know, she's dumb as hell. But yeah, those are my thoughts about that, family. Leave your comments down below in the comment section. Let me know what you guys think about this story. If you know more details, leave it down below in the comment section. Make sure you follow me on Instagram at GMOGMediaTV, family. Till next time, Chauncey signing out. Peace.